What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another account progression video. Alright, so in this one here, we're going to be taking a look at Sunbird. I have yet to get around to him, so he is the, the bio subscription character from the Warrior of the Skies. So, yeah, let's see if he is any good. So, we have him just bare bones right now at tier 2, just level 60. Haven't enhanced him at all, because as you can see here, he's still sitting ready to go. For the skills, we have the second skill leveled up for that fire resistance down that does apply to world bosses, so that's nice. And then we just have a very small 5% HP recovery there. On the fourth skill, I leveled this up just hoping that the paralysis might go up to 3 or 4 seconds, but no, it just stayed at 2 seconds, so you don't need to level this skill up. That's the only reason why I was leveling it up, because I was like, that's only 2 seconds. I'd like to get a little more out of that, but nope, it didn't go up. The fifth skill here we have leveled up for the fire resist down, which stacks up to minus 40% on this skill here, which is really nice, and he has 6 seconds of invincibility, which is fantastic for his survivability. And then his passive here, which is really cool, is it's a revive. Yes, we've seen that before, but it applies to all of the Warriors of the Sky. So he can be a really good support for the other Warriors of the Sky if you're having issues keeping them alive, or if you play Alliance Conquest a lot, he's a good member for the Warrior of the Sky Alliance Conquest team. So yeah, this revive is actually really strong. So it's quite nice. What else? We have not unlocked that skill. His leadership wasn't anything important. His tier 2 passive here, we got some guaranteed dodge by 30%, which is nice. We have increase to fire damage, and then we have increase to get that plus 100% crit damage on his attacks, so to boost his crit damage up, which is nice. I like that ability because Sabretooth and Negasonic have that, and they do some massive damage, so yeah, I like that kind of boost or that mechanic. So the ISO 8 set here, we have Power the Angry Hulk. It's not really awakened very far. I've just got like 4 3-star, 2 5-stars on there for the ISO 8, so yeah, nothing too impressive there. For the Obelisk, we do have a regular Obelisk here, but it is a fire damage ignore dodge with a 180 proc, so going offensive with him so I can kind of test out his damage. Let's go ahead and take a look at the details here. So we have maxed out ignore defense. Our skill cooldown's at 48%, almost 49%, so that's pretty much max, so don't have to worry about that. Our crit rate is very low, and our attack speed's almost maxed, actually. I'm kind of surprised by that, and our crit damage is quite low. Again, after changing my cards, I lost my crit rate and crit damage from them, so that's one thing I'm going to have to work on a little bit here. I think I still have ignore defense there. Can I change that, actually? No, I can't change that. He didn't get any crit rate from any of his skills, did he? Yeah, so his crit rate's going to be quite pathetic, so that might actually influence his damage quite a bit here. But anyway, we're still going to hop in and see how he performs with this current build that I have on him. So let's hop into some gameplay. Alright, so first up here is Proxima, and we're going against Proxima because he is a physical damage kind of base character, but all of his skills end up translating into fire damage, so he is going to, of course, be fire damage for the final product, but physical attack is what he's getting his damage based off of, so that's where we're going to go on Proxima here. We have Satana for her leadership, and then we have Shuri for her tier 2 passive. And the first run here, we're going to be using no strikers to kind of get a feel for what Sunbird can do. And do keep in mind, he is only level 60 here. And this was a stage 52, if I forgot to mention that. So yeah, we're on stage 52 here. Let's go ahead and hop in, use our 5th skill right away, try to get our damage proc here. And one thing that I like about his 5th skill is that it has really wide tracking, because as you can see, even when Proxima like jumps away from him, he still stays in the 5th skill animation, so it doesn't cancel him out of that, which is quite fantastic. Oh, and there's the problem with the 5th skill being on a 9-second cooldown, is your damage proc can get out of line quite easily here. But as you can see, his damage is nothing spectacular. It's actually quite low. Yeah, so anyway, the skill rotation that I like to use for him is proc on the 5th skill, use the 2nd skill here for the all defense down to get the iframe, the very brief iframe on the 3rd skill, use the 4th skill for the iframe, and as soon as the 5th skill's off of cooldown, I use the 5th skill. So that's kind of what it looks like. It generally keeps him pretty safe, but again, the the timing for the Obelisk does tend to work out, but that might just because he doesn't have a lot of hits on his skills. But keep in mind that the 5th skill is on a 9-second cooldown, so it definitely is not going to be super consistent all the time. You can definitely get thrown off quite easily. But yeah, even after, what, a minute and 15 seconds there, we've hardly done any damage. Was it just like a bar and a half? So yeah, we have not done very much damage here to Proxima. So now we're going to swap out and use some strikers here and see if we can get that same kind of effect that we saw from, what's it called, Viper in the last video. Because as you remember, as soon as I added these 3 strikers here for Viper, she started doing some massive damage. And Viper, just like Sunbird here, has the elemental resist down on his skills. So let's see if that's going to translate over to some big damage here. All right, Sunbird, what do you got here? Let's boom, switch over, open with that 5th skill, and let's see what the damage looks like. Didn't really get much striker action there. Okay, so there we go. Now we're getting a little bit of striker action. We did already miss our timing on the damage pop, so I need to remember that. So now let's back off here for a second. Wait for the 5th skill. Come on, 5th skill, hurry up. There we go. And now we should have reset things here. So now let's see. Can we get those bars to melt? Not really. And yeah, so that's kind of showing the fact here that yes, he does have elemental resist down, just like some other characters. But no, even when you add in the super combo striker here, or striker interactions, you do not get the melting of bars. So that means that his base kind of damage just isn't really high enough to take advantage of that all defense down. So yeah, he does not hit hard enough to take advantage of that, is what I'm kind of gathering from this little test here. But one thing I do want to show off really quickly is if you are having an issue like that and you're not seeing like kind of the results that you're expecting, just take off Scarlet's, and we'll be back here in a second. And add in Rachel instead for your mind control. Finally found her all the way at the bottom of the list here. And then you should hopefully see, I mean, for Sunbird here, I mean, it's not going to translate to the bars melting, but you should hopefully see more consistent damage. Let's see if that's the case. All right, so come on, Proxima, hurry up. Let's get this started here. All right, so now we should hopefully see a little bit better damage here. Yeah, as you can see, the bar is moving a lot faster when we're getting that all defense down comboed with his fire resist down. And yeah, our damage proc is quite off here, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, so there we go. Oh, well, we did get the bar melting effect. I lied. I didn't think it was there, but yeah. So as you can see, if you are having issues, which I should just make a different video about this for strikers, but if you're having an issue and you're not getting that kind of bar melting effect, like say you're using some damage dealer, right? And then you use your strikers and you're going about your business and you're like, all right, I'm doing pretty good damage. I got the all defense down going, and then every blue moon or every once in a while you start seeing those bars start flying by. Well, that's because Weapon Hex decided to strike first and apply that all defense down before any of your other all defense down strikers. So when you do the, let's go over here to Ebony. So when you do the combination of Weapon Hex with Negasonic, Negasonic here also has a very high cap for her all defense down. So that synergizes very well with Weapon Hex here, because Weapon Hex will start off, get that minus 100% cap going, and then Negasonic can strike in and just fill that up all the way to 100%, and then boom, you're doing some massive damage and you see that bar melting. But if you have Scarlet in there as a striker, Scarlet only has, what was it, a minus 55 or minus 45%? So if Scarlet strikes first, you're only going to get a maximum of minus 45%. So that's why you're not going to see that as often. The more all defense down strikers you add, the worse it's going to be for consistency in your damage if you have Weapon Hex. If you do not have Weapon Hex, then just disregard everything I said, because Weapon Hex has that magical minus 100%. There's no one else that has that. Negasonic is going to be your next best striker in terms of getting the highest cap or the most damage potential, but it's not going to be like a noticeable difference over using the other all defense down strikers. So that's mainly for weapon hex users or people that are curious about why sometimes they see massive damage and other times they do not see massive damage. So as you can see here, we're getting the striker effect, and boom, is working just fine against Ebony here, but you'd expect that from the elemental damage dealer. But again, it's not on the same level as what Viper was doing. Like the main difference here from Viper is the kind of damage that you saw from Viper. Even when she was even able to melt bars with just Scarlet doing the striking as well, whereas Sunbird here needs to have that max 100% to see that damage potential. So that kind of just shows the difference in terms of raw damage between Sunbird and Viper. I mean, there's other comparisons. I'm not saying just comparing him to Viper. It's just that's who I just recently did a video on, so that's probably the easiest comparison to say that Sunbird here has very low raw damage. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. So overall, he doesn't have very good damage. He can take advantage of the strikers, which is nice, so he's a good option there, but he is a bio-sub character, so I'm not very impressed with him. He has that revive function that applies to Warriors of the Sky, so if you are a big fan of any of the Warriors of the Sky and you do want to make them stronger, then yes, he's going to be a good support for that. But overall, I don't see a huge amount of value in picking up Sunbird from the bio subscription. So that's just me. That's just my initial impressions on him. But overall, he is a solid character. So yeah, he has that going for him, but nothing spectacular. So yeah, let me know if you have any different impressions of Sunbird here. If you have him at level 70, let me know if you see a massive jump in kind of his performance from level 60 to level 70, because we do see that on some heroes, not all of them, but we do see that on some heroes. So he might be one of those heroes, but I don't really have any plans on getting him to level 70, so I won't be experiencing that for myself. But yeah, for this video here, that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.